Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to talk about a new to me indie brand and we're going to talk about Ensley Reign. And if you've watched any of my Will I Buy It videos, I have spoken about this palette, that how much I'm waiting to try this palette. And Ensley Reign reached out to me and they wanted to send across their Harvest Moon palette. This comes with a sleeve with the same art cover. I actually kept the sleeve upstairs so that I can do all the filming. I swatched this baby. Obviously, I created looks. You will see 5 looks using this palette in this video. So stay tuned, and obviously you can see the 2 looks that I created. But I wanted to swatch this for you guys so that you can see all the shifts in the dimension, because live swatches just does something so special to me. But before that, let me tell you something about the palette. This palette, the artwork, stunning, you guys. This girl with these mushrooms, it gives me warm, cozy cabin vibes. It's so pretty. Look at the details. You will definitely gasp when you see this palette. It's so pretty. It says Ensley Reign Cosmetics Harvest Moon palette. This is a remastered version. They did have a Harvest Moon palette before. They obviously have revamped their mattes, their shimmers, their multichrome formula, and they wanted to reformulate everything and put it in this palette. And man, oh man, what did they do? Okay, this I cannot. Okay, this is a 21 color pressed pigment palette. This has a 12-month shelf life, and wait till you see the inside. Are you ready? It doesn't have a mirror, but it has the same artwork in the inside of the palette too. This palette is a magnetic palette, so if you love mismatching your shades, if you want to mix the other shades with this palette, you can do it. And I love a magnetic palette. This is a 21 palette magnetic palette. I drool for these kind of shades. Okay, let's look at the inside. Look how pretty this palette. It has some variations. No 2 shades looks the same, and that's what I love about a indie palette. I really love when it's such a big palette, and whenever you get a big palette, you tend to get at least 2 shades that are similar to each other. None of these shades are similar to each other. I want to swatch it for you guys, because when I started swatching, my heart started racing. It was so pretty. It has various amount of textures and formula. Some of them that are more textured than the others. Some of them are very smooth multichrome formula, and some of them are sparkly holochromy goodness. And the mattes, they're so blendable, they're so buildable. Wait till you see all the 5 looks and my final thoughts on this palette, okay? You know how much I'm excited, so that must tell you something. It's beautiful. Okay, Smithy, tell me when this launches. This palette launches on September the 29th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll put all the details in the description box below for you guys. This palette retails at $88.88. You can use the code SMITHYSONY to save 10% off. And for such a pricey palette, you should use somebody's code to save some money. I want to give you all the goodness of this palette, all the swatches, so that you can make the decision for yourself whether you want to invest in this $88 palette or not. But after using my code, I think it comes down to $79. Truth being told, I have hundreds of palettes in my collection. There are so many shades in this palette that I do not have in my collection, and that should say something to you guys, because it gives me so much of excitement. This would rank so much higher in the ranking for this year. I cannot even tell you. Let's start off swatching this palette. I'm going to start off with the mattes and then get that over with, and then give more attention to detail on the shimmer shadows, because that's the star of the show. Okay, the first shade that we're going to swatch is Pumpkin Patch, and this is a rusty orangey shade. And then we have Hayride, which is more of a grungy gray green shade, but it is more of a mid-tone form, a mid-tone. And then we have the shade Cozy, which is a neutral brown shade. So let's watch that first. They're very smooth, very buildable. I'm wiping my shades in between swatches so that it doesn't transfer. The next shade is called Chili, which is a muted gray purple shade. I love those tones. Then we have Spooky Season, which is more of like a maroon shade. And then we have Phantom, which is more of a deeper eggplanty shade. So let's watch that. There you go. And then the final matte of the palette is called Hibernate, which is more of like a deep sagey green shade. It has a lot of gray to it. All these mattes are like muted in tone. None of them are like jewel tones or anything. They're very, very muted shades. And that's the beauty of these shades. Like, it can act like a transitioning shade, a crease shade, as well as deepening shade, because they blend and build so very well. And those are the mattes of the palette. Take a screenshot and look at the variety and the depth that you're getting. It's really, really pretty. Now, let's move on to the shimmers. I'm excited to show you the shimmers. I'm not going to swatch everything at once because I want to show you shifts in dimension, and I do not want to take away with anything away from this palette because it's beautiful. The first shade that we're going to swatch is this Foliage shade, and this seems like an orangey peachy shade, right? It's a very smooth multichrome. It has orange, pink, green, and a lime green shift to it. Can you see those shifts? Let me swatch it for you guys. There you go. Fiery orange shade. Keep looking. Did you see that? I'm not going to say anything, but I know your eyes are popping out because the first shade that I swatched, I was like, what the heck? What is happening here? It's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, just stay tuned. Okay, the next shade in the palette is called Deciduous. This one looks like a green in the palette. There you go. Like a vibrant green. This has blue, purple, and green, and it is a smooth multichrome. Let's watch this. Oh my God. You guys, you're not ready. I told you you're not ready. Okay. The next shade in, don't drop it. The next shade in the palette is called Harvest Moon, the name of the palette, this one. And it looks like a bronzy textured shade, right? Let me show it to you. This, even on the fingers, it does seem like it is more of like that bronzy green gold shade. Let me swatch it for you guys. This all over the lid would be stunning. It's more of a deeper grungy bronzy shade. It's more of like a brown bronze, like a chocolatey bronze shade. It doesn't have like that multichrome effect to it, at least not that I can see within my eyes. It's like a smooth chocolate bronze, like an antique gold bronze shade, I would say. That's like a fall shade, right? The next shade in the palette is called Flannel. This green shade looks textural in the pan. But it is very, very sparkly. It has like a very pale muted green with a gold and a muted blue, like a sky blue to it. Like, remember this shade, which is how bright this is? This is a muted version of that. Let me swatch this for you, and it is super, super sparkly, not like the smooth formula that we saw here. So you'll see the sparkle and the shine here. See? And that can be more of like a wearable but sparkly ethereal shade. You can see that, like, you know, muted green and then muted blue coming through. Very pretty. It has like a cool toneness to it, like a muted silveryness to it. Okay, let's move on. The next shade in the palette is called Corn Maze. Now this is another smooth multichrome. It's like a gold to a pink to a bronze shifting shade. Really, really pretty. This shade like screams fall to me. Again, this is called corn maze. You see that? That bronziness but with a pink flip to it. Really, really pretty. Okay, the next shade is called Sweater Weather. This it's like a purple shade with a lot of texture to it. It's so pretty. It's very, very smooth. When I say texture, do not think like, fallouty shade. I would say it's very, very smooth, but it has a lot of sparkle and dimension to it. It is like a pinky purple to a antique gold green shift to it. So let's watch that. Very, very beautiful shade. This shade has a little bit more of a waxiness to it. So I would say even if you do not apply like a glitter glue, you will be able to stick this to your lids without any issue. That's a very, very pretty shade. You know I love my purples and that's beautiful. That's Sweater Weather. See how it shifts to a green to an antique gold shade. Really, really pretty. Love it. And it is very, very sparkly too. Like this one and done shade would be amazing. Okay, let's do on the other hand. The next shade is called Hunter Moon. This shade, it is like a pale lavender shade. Can you see? It has pink to it, it has purple to it, it has blue to it. Actually, it is a holochrome shade. Get ready. I'm swatching it with my left hand, so just ignore that. But look at that. It has so much of dimension and sparkle to it. The holochrominess is to another level. This outside in the sunlight, you'll be so surprised. It's so pretty, you guys. So pretty. The holochrome glitter that comes across, it's stunning. Stunning. Even if you put like a brown crease and put this all across your eyelid, it'll be so special. One of my favorite shades in the palette. The next shade is called Bougie. Another special holochrome shade. It doesn't even look like a holochrome shade. It is like a red holochrome. Get ready. Look at that. It has a red, gold, green flip to it. And it is filled with those holochromy sparkles. Beautiful. This is a one and done shade that you just need to apply it all across your eyelid and it'll be stunning. So beautiful. Even my finger that I swatched with, it has so many specks of glitter happening with that holochromy goodness. I cannot even deal with this. Okay. The next shade in the palette is called Equinox. This one. This, if you love a grungy, smoky eye look, this shade is just perfect for you. Perfect. This is like a gunmetal bronzy shade. It's not like a multichrome or anything. But for a smoky eye look, this will be stunning. Just ignore my swatch with the left hand. I'm not so capable of swatching with my left hand. I feel very, very handicapped. Look how gorgeous that shade is. Can you imagine like a New Year's look? Stunning, like stunning. That with like a nude lip would be gorgeous. If you want to see that look, I actually did show you in one of the looks how you can just use that shade. It's beautiful, you guys. Next shade is another holochrome, and this is called Wishful Thinking. This pink shade, this pink shifts to a green. So you'll be like, Smithy, we have seen so many multichromes that shifts like from that pink to a green shade. I thought the same thing till the time I swatched it. When I swatched it, I was like, oh my God. Whatever multichrome you've seen from that pink to a green, times 10, just because of the holochromy goodness. I see such a vibrant green at my end, you guys. And you see such a vibrant purple, like a pinky purple shade. And look at all the holochrome glitter that is going all over it. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to put that shade all across my eyelid. Oh, so stunning. I'm breathing heavy, breathing heavy. Okay, the next shade in the palette, oh my god, this is called Sparkling Cider. This shade looks like a meh in the palette. It's a deep grungy green. It has purple in it, it has blue in it, it has like a gray in it. It's such a gorgeous shade. Definitely, I have nothing in my collection that looks like that. Let me swatch it for you guys. It's a very smooth multichrome. Looks like a very black based multichrome. Look at that. Again, ignore my swatches with the left hand. Can you see that green coming through? With that grungy gray blue and has a little bit of purple too to it. Oh my goodness, you guys. Another smoky, beautiful shade. Very, very unique in my collection. I definitely have nothing in my collection that looks like that. Let's move on. The next shade in the palette is called Tombstone. This vibrant orange shade. It's like a smooth shade with no glitter particle to it. It's like a orange to a gold flip shade. Look how vibrant that is. How vibrant that is. Oh my goodness. Okay. Look how stunning. How stunning that is. Oh my goodness. People will stop and ask you, what is that? That's the shade that I have in my inner corners here. So pretty, you guys. Okay, the next shade in the palette is called Ghost Moon. And this is like a purple shade. It's such a smooth shade. Another very, very unique shade in my collection. And you would think no, because it is like a purple to a red shifting shade. It also has that magenta shade to it. It's such a smooth shade, and it also has like a green flip to it. Definitely a multichrome. There you go. Can you see that? So pretty, you guys. Like a purple to a red to a green. Very pretty. And the last shade in the palette is called Forage. Yeah, Forage. And this is basically like that green gold shade. Very textural. So sparkly. So sparkly. It has a very similar formula to this shade. That was very sparkly, the flannel shade. Let me show you. Oh my god. Stunning. This is definitely a lot more waxier, that flannel shade, and this super, super waxier shade, I would say, but so sparkly. I will just tap that with my fingers all across the eyelid, especially if you have oily eyelids, just to avoid some creasing. But I'll tell you definitely if it creases or not. Look forward to my comments below, because I'm going to wear this throughout the day and see if I get creasing on my eyelid, because this is the shade, that flannel shade. This flannel shade. So pretty. So pretty. So those were the multichromes of the palette, like unique tones. And these swatches are just beautiful. I'm going to show it on your screen in the outside lighting too, with all the shifts in the dimension, how beautifully everything swatches and it looks. My iPhone could not capture these just because there were so many shifts happening, and that says a lot about these palettes. But now, if you are ready to see all the 5 looks using this palette, then please keep on watching. Okay, I don't even know where to start, but we have to start somewhere. So I'm going to take this shade, which is Chili. And this looks like mid-tone gray purple. I'm going to take that right there. This can, yeah, it can totally act like a deeper shade for fairer skin tone. I did not set my eye primer. I use my Alamar Cosmetics eye primer. So I'm just gonna stamp it. I'm so excited for this, guys. I just swatched this baby. Oh my god. Wait. I'm pretty sure I did the swatches for you guys already. Oh goodness. You can see the shifts in the dimension, and there are so many shades in this palette that I have never seen before, and that is a big statement. I have like around 200 palettes in my collection, and oh my goodness. Okay, so that's the shade Chili. I have it almost all across my crease, I would say. I mainly focused it here, and then I started pressing it towards the crease. Let's go a little more on the deeper side. I'm going to take the shade Phantom. Next, I'm going to take the same brush that we used. I'm going to take that on the outer corners, and this would absolutely deepen this look up. I know there are not a lot of lighter tone mattes in this palette. Majority of them are like really deeper tones. There are a few mid-tone shades too, but I mean, if you are getting this palette, you are getting it for the shimmers. Not even kidding, right? If you are anywhere like me, you want like a couple of mattes to ground this look, but you are buying this for the shimmers. Look how beautifully it blended together. Love it. I'm going to take the same shade Phantom, the deeper shade, and apply that on the lower lash line too, and just connect both of them together. I'm also going to take that shade Chili, the first shade that we applied, and melt it down from the inner third of the lower lash line, just like that. That's it. I'm going to take some NYX glitter glue and apply it on the eyelid, and then we'll get back with the multichromes. Okay, I'm going to start off with this shade, which is Ghost Moon, and then we'll go with Wishful Thinking in the inner part. So let's take Ghost Moon. This is such a beautiful shade. I don't even know if you can see the shifts. It's a very smooth multichrome. I can see yellow, copper, orange, purple. It's so beautiful, and a little bit of blue too. Okay, let's take that. See how smooth it is? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to take that majority on the center of my eyelid, because I am looking for a little bit of sparkle and shine from the Wishful Thinking shade. But before that, let's put this baby Ghost Moon all across the eyelid. Can you see that shift? There's definitely a green shift too. So it will definitely go really good with Hibernate too. Just smoothen out by tapping the edges. No additional product. Just like that. Let's take this shade Wishful Thinking. It's a holochrome. It's a pink to a green holochrome. We've all seen pink to a green flip, but this has a holochrome shift to it. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if you can capture that holochrominess. Oh my god. Can you see it? Oh my. Okay. I'm going to just take it with my fingers because I cannot. And I'm just going to melt it with that Ghost Moon shade. And I don't want a cut crease situation, so I'm just going to pat it on the crease. Oh my goodness. You guys, I cannot deal with this. I cannot deal with this. Oh my god. Okay. What are we gonna do in the inner corners? Let's take this shade. I'm gonna take the shade Foliage. It looks like nothing, I know, but as soon as I dipped into that shade, the first time I gasped. Like, it looks like a normal peach shade. It has such a strong pink shift. You have no idea. Like, look how bright that is. That all over the eyelid. Like, I'm overdoing by putting so many shades just so that I want to show you guys like how well it performs. But all you need is one matte all across the eyelid, like on the outer corners, and one shade all across the lid, and you're done. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And that's my first eye look. I really hope that you can see the shifts, because I can see so much going on here. Like, I cannot even deal with it. Like, it's so pretty, you guys, so pretty. Okay, let's move on to the next eye look, because I cannot even wait to play with these babies, seriously. Okay, I'm gonna start off with this shade. Let's see where we go. Pumpkin Patch, and then we'll deepen it out with the shade Hibernate. We'll see. I'm gonna first take Pumpkin Patch on like a very fluffy brush. This is BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A503. I'm gonna start with the outer corner, but I'm gonna take it all across my crease. I just want a light wash. I want to see if I can make these shades work as a transitioning shade too or not. See, these shades are super buildable. Did you see that? This is like my second layer, and you saw like from the first layer it built up so nicely for the second layer. That's like a sign of such a good shadow. And again, my eye primer is still tacky and it's not grabbing to anything. I love that, love that. Okay, let's move on to the shade Hibernate, which is that green. I'm gonna pat it across the outer corner like there. It's not like a deep forest green or anything. It's a very muted sagey green, but deep. Look at that, so pretty. I love it, I love it. So once we have that, I'm going to replicate the same thing on the lower lash line too. Taking that Pumpkin Patch shade, the orange, and putting it all across my lower lash line, just blowing it out, and then taking the smaller dense brush with Hibernate and placing it very close to the lash line, just like that. Let's take Sparkling Cider, this one. I don't know what you see. I see like green, but there is purple to it. It's such a deep shade. Like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I've never seen a shade like this. Like all over like a smoky eye. This would be stunning. Oh, can you see that? There's like a midnight blue purple shade to it, and the base of it is green. I hope you can see all these things. So pretty, you guys. Okay, let's actually take both. I cannot decide. Okay, I'm going to start with the shade Harvest Moon because it's a deeper one out of the two. And I'm going to place that right on the inner third of the eyelid, melting it with that Sparkling Cider shade. Look how glossy that looks. It's so stunning. This shade has a little bit more of a waxiness texture to it. It's not like sparkly holochromy. It's very smooth. It might emphasize a little bit of texture on your eyes. Can you see that? So you have to like smoothen it out. I'm so excited, you guys. Okay. For the inner corners, I'm going to take that shade Corn Maze, and I'm going to take that on the inner corners. Oh, that's so perfect. I'm actually going to take that Corn Maze shade right on the center, just to melt both of these together, because it has that greeniness to it that would act like a binding agent for both of those shades. Can you see that? Oh my god. Okay, this I can see like fall all over my eyelid. Okay, what I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna take that Sparkling Cider shade on my lower lash line too. I loved that shade. Okay, I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. And that's my second eye look. I so love how fall this is. It's so pretty. It's so different, but I love them both so very much. By the way, for the lips, I paired it up with the Maybelline Ultimate Lipstick in the shade More Mocha. I love this fall vibe. I'm going to take some pictures and I'll come back for the third and the fourth look. Okay, let's begin with the next eye look. I'm going to start off with this shade, which is Hayride, this one. This seems like a definite transition shade. So let's start off with that. I do not have any eye primer now. I just have a little bit of concealer. As you can see, I just like went back and forth with my looks. So I want to see as many things as possible when I'm doing these looks so that I can see, is there any creasing going on? Is there any skipping going on? So I did it with Alamar primer in the beginning, and now I just have a concealer. I just used my Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. Where is it? There you go. Cannot see. Okay. As you can see, that Hayride shade is definitely like a gray-green shade, and that can definitely deepen up any eye look, but it will act like a beautiful crease shade. Let's take the shade Cozy and go a little more deeper, right? Which is more of like a true neutral brown shade. I'm gonna take that in the outer corner. Yeah, I can totally see the difference, like in the tone. I'm gonna melt it down with that other shade, which was Hayride. And these shades are so buildable too. Love how they are blending together. They're building on top of each other. Really, really pretty. Cozy on the lower lash line, and go with Hayride and melt it together. Let's try something different. How about that? Okay, we're gonna do Equinox, and should we do that or this? Because these two shades might be the favorite shades that I have in this palette. I mean, all of this are so unique, and that's saying something. Let's start off with that Equinox shade because I want to show you how deep and smoky it can get. Okay, so this is that Equinox shade. Can you see that? How metallic that shade is? And this is again another smooth formula. And you can totally do this all over the eyelid, and this can be like a gunmetal everyday smoky shade. Can you see that? That can be such a vibe. I love it. But of course, we have to try more shades. Cannot even deal with this. Okay, I have a plan. Let's do Flannel, which is this green shade. It looks so textural, right? When I swatched this, I was so pleasantly surprised at like how sparkly this shade is, and this can take you to places. So let's do that. I'll show you how it performs, and it does have like that green to a purple to a blue. Oh my god, stunning multichromes. Okay, can you see that even? I don't blame you if you're blinded. Like, look at that and tell me if that's not stunning. I don't know what it is. Am I a green person? Absolutely not. But do I love it? Stunning. These tones are so lovely, you guys. So lovely. I'm going to go back into that Equinox shade and just melt down both of these shades together so that there's no harsh lines, and I want like a smooth blend going from that green to a gunmetal shade to that deeper shade in the outer corners. Let's just blend that out with no additional product. I'm just gonna tap over the edges just like that. I'm gonna take this shade, which is Tombstone. I'm gonna mix cool tones with warm tone and see where we roll. There you go. Can you see that? Like, can you see that? It's like a glowing. Oh my goodness, stunning it is. Okay, stunning. What I'm gonna do is just because of that orange, I want to get some warmth to it. I'm gonna take that pumpkin patch shade, the orange matte, just a tad bit. I'm just gonna graze through the edges right here in the inner third of the crease. So stunning. Okay, I'm going to finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. Now just to complete the look, I'm going to take that this orangey shade on my lower lash line too. Just to tie in everything together. Just that. And that's my third eye look. So stunning, you guys. So stunning. Let's move on to the fourth eye look. I can do so much. So much. I have not even played with everything and I cannot even wait. Okay, let's start off with this shade, which is Spooky Season. I'm going to take that Spooky Season shade, which is that magenta shade. I'm going to pack that all across the eyelid. And I'll show you how buildable it is, okay? Just you wait. Patting off the excess. Can you see that? It's so stunning. And this is gonna be like the easiest look that you've ever seen. I wanna show you how you can take one shade and just turn that out as like a eye look. So see what I did? I packed it on the eyelid, whatever was on the leftover on the brush. I'll start pushing it everywhere else, like on the lower lash line, over the edges. So I basically have that over the lower lash line. I'll take a relatively clean blending brush and then just go over the edges of that shade, and that will act like a transitioning shade for you. So you do not need like a, you know, the lighter shade and a deeper shade. Like these shades, you can blend it out to be like a transitioning shade, a crease shade, or a deepening shade all at once. See, that's just one shade. How much I love it. I just love that. Okay, well, I want to do like this shade all over. And this is called Hunter's Moon. This is like a purple holochrome shade. You know how much I love my purples. Do not even talk. Like, I know it's a simple look, but I want it. So I just took it on my fingers, right? I'm just gonna start packing it. Oh my goodness. Can you even see the magic of that shade? Oh, I wanna take a bath in this. So pretty. Okay. Okay, calm down, calm down. I'm so happy that I have this palette, you guys. No kidding. Just so stunning. I don't know what to do with myself. Okay, now, do we need anything else? I'm gonna take this Sweater Weather shade. Of course, you can just leave it by this, and it's stunning, okay, you guys, stunning it is. I'm gonna take a little bit of Sweater Weather. That is another beautiful shade of this palette. I'm gonna just take it in the inner and the outer corner, just to give a little bit more variation. Do I need it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Am I just like putting everything on my eyes at this point? Yes, it is. Okay, that's it. I'm just gonna blend the edges, finish off this eye with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. We didn't even do our inner corners, so let's do that. I'm gonna go back into that Hunter's Moon shade, this Holochrome shade. I'm gonna take that on this stubby brush, put that right there in my inner corners, just for that added brightness. Let me show you my fourth eye look. I love how beautiful, ethereal, girly, holochromy this eye turned out to be. So different vibes, and I love them both equally. I really love it. Now let's move on to the fifth eye look, because I am dying to use this shade, which is Bougie. It's so pretty. It's another holochrome shade, but it is a red. Are you afraid of reds? Don't be, because that's the most beautiful shade. I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait. So let's move on to the fifth eye look. Okay, let's start off super simple with this shade, which is Cozy. I'm gonna take Cozy all across my eyelid. My eyelids are definitely asking to be saved, because this is the fifth eye look that I'm gonna do today. I never do this to my eyes. It's just that my excitement is more than my health of the eye. That's why. But bear with me. If you see sparkle everywhere, that's mainly because of the holochrome shades, because I'm wiping and I'm not taking off my entire makeup just because I don't want to. So I'm just wiping my eyes, and that's why you see sparkle and shine trickle down. Love the tones of the mattes that were chosen. And then just blending the edges with the same brush with no additional product. Just like that. See? Just like a one and done kind of a look. And you can totally go all matte, but why will you go all matte with such a beautiful palette? What I did is I just dipped once into that pumpkin patch shade just to get that rusty orangey shade across the transitioning area. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing on my lower lash line too. I'm gonna take this cozy shade closer to the lash line, and then I'm just gonna smoke it out with this pumpkin patch shade, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna take a little bit of NYX Glitter Glow and just plop it right there in the center. You saw how much I took, like just a plop, a little bit. Now my eyelids are nice and sticky. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this shade Bougie, the red holochrome shade, such a pretty shade, and I'm gonna just place that on my entire eyelid, just like that. Just placing it everywhere just for that shade to shine. Now when I'm placing it like all across the eyelid, I start with the center and then I go across the edges, just so that I can scatter those shimmer evenly throughout the eyelid. Oh, so pretty, you guys. Okay, now I'm just gonna take that same brush with no additional product and just blend the edges. And then for the inner corner, I'm gonna take this shade, which is Forage. I think this is the last shade that we have to use. And I'm gonna take a tad bit. It's a very textural shade. I just took a little bit. I'm just gonna spray it just so that I don't have like fallout everywhere. And I'm just gonna take that right there. Oh my God. So sparkly. Just right there in the inner corner, just for that added brightness. You can do so much with this. This tapped on the center would be stunning too. I want that shade to like shine. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Of course, stay tuned. I'm gonna do a lot more looks using that palette. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara and I'll get right back. And that's my fifth eye look. I really love how elegant and simple and dimensional each and every eye turned out. I really love the way how everything. I just like finished off my last eye look with some lashes just so that you can see like with bold lashes how it looks. I just didn't want to apply lashes with every 5 look that I created. So I just wanted to do that with the last eye look. I really love the way how simple and elegant this can be, or how dramatic it can be. I feel like I've used everything, right? Oh, I think in the intro I said I used everything. I think I've not used this shade. So definitely need to use this. This one, which is Deciduous. So stay tuned. I'll definitely do like a get ready with me using that shade. I cannot wait to combine this with some other shades too. Like a deep blue would be so amazing. But yes, I love everything about this palette. And those were the 5 looks that I created for you guys. Do let me know in the comment section below, out of the 5 looks, which one was your absolute favorite? I just loved everything, like the sparkle, the shine, the dimension, the way it blends, the way it builds was absolutely A++. I had absolute no issue. Of course, this is my first impressions on using all the shades. I give a 10 on 10 on the packaging. I give a 10 on 10 on the formula as of now. Of course, I'm gonna keep using this palette again and again and again, and I'll give you final thoughts how this palette ranks towards the end of the year. So stay tuned, we're very close. But I am so excited to try Ensley Reign Cosmetics. If you were eyeing this palette and if you were thinking that you have these tones in your collection, guys, being very honest, because I do have so many indie palettes, I still feel that majority of the shades in this palette are very unique. Just because of the holochrominess, it's very unique to me. And you know the palettes that I have, these are very unique tones to me. I am so excited for this. I cannot wait to see their Twisted Tea Party palette now. I cannot wait to see their reveal, because I am so excited now, so excited for it. I feel it's super, like totally worth the $88, and that will never come out of my mouth if it is not worth that $88, because $88 is a lot of money and I know that. But these are unique tones. If you want to add like unique multichromes to your collection, this palette will take you to places. It will give you so much variety and none of these shades look similar. That's the beauty about this palette. I am so excited for this. You guys have to let me know, out of the 5 looks that I created, which one was your favorite? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing, all of them. And do let me know in the comment section below, are you gonna pick up this palette or not? I cannot even speak because how excited I am. Use my code SMITHYSONY to save 10% off. But that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.